Welcome students, myself Vishal Pandey, and today we are going to discuss a very eminent topic from your history book. The topic is the First World War, Khilafat and Non-Cooperation Movement. As you are very much aware that we have taken nationalism in India as far as your topic is concerned, but this is a very important thing to understand in nationalism in India. The First World War, Khilafat, and then the non-cooperation as well. So today we are going to discuss this in a detailed way. More interesting things are there to be learned and to be discussed. Let us move towards the next slide and try to understand that what is the First World War and when it got initiated, when it started, and how it gave an influence on the people of world as well as on the people of India. So basically, if you talk about the first point, World War first broke out in 1914. If you don't know this, keep this in your mind that the First World War was started in 1914 itself. India was under British rule. Yes, this is very much fact. You all are aware about this, that at that particular time, at that particular era, India was under the rule of British government. Third point, as you can see, increase in defense expenditure led to increase in taxes in India. So suppose when the war is going on, all the countries which were colonized by Britishers, they used to borrow taxes in form of revenues, etc. and etc. So all together India was facing, and the people of India were facing many burden as far as the taxes are concerned. Income taxes were introduced. Many of income taxes was introduced by Britishers, and custom duties. Then crops failed in many parts of India. At that particular year, that is 1914, because of drought and malnutrition, many people died. That was also a horrific situation, and because of all these reasons, this led to shortage of food. So ultimately, if crops are not done, we are not producing crops, and because of drought, all the facilities, all the planning of the government was failed, and many people died because of starvation. So let us discuss what happens then after that. As you all are aware that after 1914, Mahatma Gandhi came in India from South Africa altogether. So what he did, what were his steps, and what he decided to do in India, each and everything will be discussed. And if you talk about the through the war, years increased, doubling between 1913 and 18. Basically the war, the First World War, was on its pinnacle from 1914 to 1918, and people of India also participated, the soldiers also participated in that particular war in the behalf of British government. On the discussion by Mahatma Gandhi, when Mahatma Gandhi appealed from the people that please do it, join the army, because they will free us if you do so. But ultimately we were not given the freedom at all. So when Gandhiji was not happy with Britishers, the idea of Satyagraha came upon the platform. Now what is idea of Satyagraha? This is very important. देखिए, सत्य के लिए किया गया आग्रह. If you want to have truth in terms of you, then it is called Satyagraha. But the Gandhiji's Satyagraha was a little bit different. Gandhiji used to tell everyone that Satyagraha should be done very non-violently. It should be not violently, and you don't argue with Britishers, you don't retaliate with Britishers. Instead of doing all that, be cool, calm and composed as far as the idea of Satyagraha is concerned. Mahatma Gandhi came back to India in 1915, as I told you earlier. He introduced this concept. Which concept? This concept means the idea of Satyagraha, and he stayed in South Africa. As you all are aware that he was there for South Africa for 22 years. So he manipulated, improvised all the situation in South Africa as well, and now he is in India. I'm talking about 1915. He will also try to enhance all the circumstances in favor of him, as well as in the favor of India. So he organized several Satyagrahas in India. I told you in the virtual classes as well. Then when Mahatma Gandhi came in India in 1915, he decided to travel throughout the country because he was unaware. Because before 22 years he was living in South Africa. So he came in India and he decided that he will go from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and try to understand the real India. So he traveled throughout, and from 1916 he became more famous than he was because of Champaran Satyagraha, which was held in Bihar itself. So 1916 Champaran, then Ahmedabad in 1918, and the Kheda as well, and then obviously in 1919 the Rowlett Act, which was very prominent. I will be discussing this Rowlett Act and Amritsar and Jallianwala Bagh. Everything will be discussed, but first of all have a look on this portrait. You can see the idea of Satyagraha, the movement, the Champaran movement. These are the photographs taken from Champaran movements, how the people are connecting with Mahatma Gandhi, with MK Gandhi, and you can see he is walking and the people are following. People were very much having faith in MK Gandhi because they were idealizing him as a Masiha who can save the country in terms of slavery, and in terms of he is only the man, one man army who can push Britishers back to England. So let us discuss something more, that how Rowlett Act came into existence. I have told you all that Jallianwala Bagh, which was held at Amritsar on 13th of April, 14th of April in 1919, basically, it was the outcome of Rowlett Act. That shooting, or that the General Dyer came and he gave the permission to shoot each and everyone who was there involved in Jallianwala Bagh Park. But why he gave that permission? Do you realize that? Do you want to go in the background of that massacre? If you want to go into the background, then you have to understand this Rowlett Act, because Rowlett Act is very much this is an act which is equivalent to the black law. Yes, this is a black law. This was a black law which was introduced by Britishers to control the powers of revolutionaries, to control the power of revolutionaries like Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad and many more. But at that time Bhagat Singh was not at its pinnacle. He was a juvenile at that time. He was an adolescent at that time. But if you talk about Rowlett Act, this act authorized the British officers to imprison any Indian political leader. This is very important. I'm repeating this sentence again. This act gave the permission to the British officers to imprison, to catch, to send into the jail any Indian political leader for 2 years without any trial. What it means, that Indian leader should be thrown into jail without any trial, without giving any permission to defend themselves into the courts, and so and so forth. So this was a black law as far as Rowlett Act is concerned. Second point which is very important, that MK Gandhi came out with this Rowlett Act, this Satyagraha in 1919, and then he decided altogether to form non-cooperation. So this much is enough for today, and in the next presentation we will be discussing that how the idea of non-cooperation came into the mind of Mahatma Gandhi, and how the people were influenced by that particular cooperation, which was also called non-cooperation. Watch this video as many times as you can and try to understand each and everything more prominently. Thank you.